This is London Street. This is the main street in Lyttelton, the suburb of Christchurch. It's the port town of Christchurch, and it's part of Banks Peninsula. Project Lyttelton's a grassroots community group that has a vision statement which is around sustainability and having a vibrant community.
Now we're standing in front of the Harbour CoOp. I wonder if you might tell us what this is and the story behind it.
The Harbour CoOp started off as a whole foods store. That happened before the earthquake, and at the time of the earthquake things needed to change and it was going to be sold as a business. So the whole community got together and bought this. So I believe there's about 170 owners of this CoOp now. And it links in with a project of Project Lyttelton, which is looking at food resilience in the whole Harbour Basin. And we're using this really like a conduit. So we're trying to establish around the Harbour Basin sort of micro producers. And at the same time, with that project around resilience with food, we realised that the school, young people weren't involved. So we've linked with all the schools and early childhood centres. So there's 8 of them. And we've got a facilitator that goes around all of those schools and teaching children how to grow and how to pick, harvest, cook it, serve it, eat it, even how to sit down and enjoy company and how to wash up the dishes and how to put the stuff back in the compost heap. All of that whole thing, so that we have got food security long term, not just for now. One of the other things too with the earthquake is that the powers that be are busy doing lots of things, so you can get on with things. And we've planted a food forest here, and you know that you don't actually, you ask for forgiveness rather than permission. You know, for Christchurch post-earthquake, this is really exciting. So much space, we could actually be thinking of food.
So food seems a major focus of what you're doing.
Food is the first one, everyone eats. So everyone's connected to it. So that food's the obvious first resilience thing that you look at. But you might look at transport or energy or healthcare, education, all of those things.
Now, I'd like to hear a little bit about the time bank.
Right, yes.
How has that helped in the recovery from the earthquakes?
The time bank is a way of trading with one another. It's a complementary currency. I do work for you and I get a credit for doing that. And then I can go and buy someone else's time. So it doesn't have to be a direct trade. What it does is it encourages reciprocity, and it's everyone's time's equal. We'd been running that time bank for a few years when the earthquakes came. So at the time of the February earthquake, we had the Navy in town and the Army was doing an exercise at the same time. We were really lucky. So in the emergency situation, you had the Navy and the Army, the police, the ambulance, fire brigade, all of that, civil defence, and you had the time bank. And they all brought their own skills. So the skills from the time bank is we knew people in the community, we knew who had what skill. People were still online, that wasn't affected, so we could send out messages saying we needed so many people to help pull chimneys down. In an earthquake or any disaster, people really want to help. People really care. You might think, a lot of people will give you the impression that people are self-centred, but when push comes to shove, people want to help each other. And the other thing I would like to say, it's really love. It's love that we're talking about.